What's going on, and welcome to the Stick Drift Podcast, a podcast for all things cars, racing games, motorsports, and more. What's going on, and welcome to the Stick Drift Podcast. I still haven't thought of a consistent enough intro to do because we have the new intro thing over there, and I still need to get jingles, I guess, for a lack of a better word, for the end segments, the gaming segment and the motor pass.
Do you even know what episode it is?
I want to say last
7?
episode was 7. I want to say last episode was 7.
Is this 8?
This might
7
be
or 8.
It's one of the two episodes. But yes, today is a big episode because thanks to me on my gaming channel, my main channel, winning the Grand Cru, a competition held by Ubisoft, I have won you guys watching. Well, obviously I won a lot more, but I've taken 2 100,000 codes and I'm going to be giving them away here on this podcast. This is the 8th episode of the Stick Drift Podcast, a podcast for all things cars, car culture, racing games, motorsports, and the like. And the way you enter the podcast, the giveaway,
You enter the podcast.
the way you enter the giveaway is simply subscribe to the podcast, leave a like, and then just comment your opinions on one or any of the topics we talk about today. We're going to be going, and speaking of the topics that we're going to be talking about today, all the stuff in cars this week. Not a lot, but Porsche's SUV version of the Macan has been revealed. Now, is this going to be replacing the Macan, or is it going to be like a...
The Macan is... What is the Macan? Because the Cayenne is the SUV, as far as I'm aware.
Is the Cayenne the SUV? I always get them wrong, so I have no idea, frankly.
The Porsche Macan is an SUV.
That is an SUV, yeah, okay, but it's not... Do they have two SUVs?
So is the Cayenne. But they look the exact same.
So
sure.
they'll still have a non-electric SUV then, I guess. It's just the Cayman the Cayman. God, the naming scheme is terrible.
The Macan and the Cayenne are the SUVs, and they're gonna have a petrol Cayenne still.
Lamborghini makes a I don't know if it's the first or what it is, but they have made a custom spec Lamborghini Huracan off-road, which comes out on November 30th in Miami, specifically. It's the Florida type of car. Yeah. I mean, you know what? I guess if it's Miami and it's Florida, that maybe makes a bit more... Obviously, we'll expand on these.
Off-road. It has less than 20... Like, it actually has this much suspension travel. Like,
it's more dirt road is what it is.
Like, look at the front. That's not even a pothole. Like, you couldn't even go over a pothole in that. You can go into a gravel road.
Get onto that thing. Speaking of EVs, from the Macan to McLaren, unfortunately, I used to think pretty prestigious car company, McLaren, is planning an all-electric... Is it a sports car? Is it a supercar? Is it a hypercar? It's a sedan or an SUV. They're planning an all-electric...
The fact that it's... Yeah, it might be a sedan. It might be an SUV.
Yeah.
They'll pick on the day.
They picked, like, the two most dull types of cars they could have. They went not supercar.
McLaren sedan could be cool.
I guess, but
because it wouldn't be an SUV.
But they couldn't make it look all fancy, right? It would still... it couldn't just be the front of a 720S on a sedan, I don't reckon. They'd have to make it a lot flatter looking, etc. Possible. I don't know what Encore is, but apparently Buick might be going into the Chinese market to replace them, which would, I guess, be an interesting invert, as wasn't it the Chinese market that, like, just like jump scared the American market way back when? Now,
it
was the Japanese market. It was the Japanese market jump scared, and now America delving way back into the Eastern European market. On top of that, the Lucid Motors. Now, I believe Marquez Brownlee, Mr. Marquez Brownlee and Fortnite himself, did a review on the Lucid Air, and it was like, is this the new Tesla?
This is a trim version. It's the Lucid Air Pure.
Yeah. I mean,
it gets 400 plus. So it gets 401 miles of range, I imagine.
I mean, it comes into that whole thing where it's like, which obviously we'll talk about more if we get onto the segment of it. But it comes into that whole thing where it's like, a company makes electric car. Everyone, is this the new Tesla? Will this be is this the Tesla killer? Oh my god, is this the new Tesla?
Tesla is dead.
Oh, the end of Tesla? And on top of that, and I will second this. Shockingly cool.
Who was fasting this?
The Toyota Prius newer model has been unveiled. Unveiled, yeah. Unveiled, right? Unveiled. And I think it's kind of cool. There's some other stuff with the Toyota Prius.
Yeah, it's a bit big in the back, but yeah.
I mean, I guess that is the shape of the Prius, but it's like genuinely, I'm kind of like, okay, we'll get onto that one because that's a big one because that thing actually turned out really cool. But
you didn't get it.
The Toyota Prius gets a new model, and the NSX will be getting its final model as the Acura NSX production has finally ended, meaning that there will I mean, not even a final model. What, they just ended it? So they're not
Well, I mean, when was the last time you saw one?
Yeah.
No one bought them anyway.
So what, like, the F-Type got a final model, the R8, the TT, the stuff like the Focus, just gone. What was the Focus? The Fiesta. This and the Fiesta, just production over, I guess.
And Focus, but yeah.
And the Drake Dragon is a 200 horsepower electric SUV. 2,000 horsepower.
With glowing doors.
What is it? It's just like a Ferrari Jaguar SUV.
It's just some one-off thing, I imagine.
Well, that is quite the oddball of a car, indeed. I don't know. It's a car.
It's certainly a car.
Got that. It looks like a knockoff Ferrari SUV, Jaguar SUV. It looks like
that. You say a knockoff Ferrari SUV as if the Ferrari one's actually out.
That is true. Yeah, I mean, we've seen early images of the Ferrari. Well, I mean, that sounds like Ferrari sent us early images. We've seen the spotted while spotted images, which, by the way, there wasn't a single one this week.
No.
This week really has been weird.
Nothing happened this week.
Yeah, like, that's it. That's the intro, here's all the news segment. Which, yeah, by the way, so that's going to be the topics of this podcast. We're going to be talking about that. So, yeah, to enter the giveaway, subscribe, leave a comment, subscribe, like the podcast, and just let us know what you think. Let us know your opinions on one of the topics, any of the topics throughout this podcast episode. And I will be doing a randomly selected, so I'll reply to your comment if you won, and then just reply asking for your Discord account, and then you reply that, and then I'll reply with the more information to win 200k crew credits in the Crew 2 Ubisoft Ivory Tower. Long-winded, but yes, prepare for that. And carrying on, though, give me 1 minute while I check a thing. Okay, no, we are good. Hopefully we don't have any podcasts being bad and stuttering. It's done it 2 weeks in a row. It's frustrating. And also, you are really low down. There we go. Right. So this thing... Bad. You know what? We can actually move on from this thing. The Lucid Air. Or is it even called that? The Lucid Air?
It's the Lucid Air, but they're new trim versions. The Pure will be like the touring model, I imagine.
So I didn't end up watching Marquez Brownlee's video on it, but what was the consensus on this thing? Because it just doesn't look like it's... I don't know. It's not anything special, really. I want to see if he hashtag added.
They're very US market specific, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Here we go. I mean, it's autofocus. He just does car reviews, though, doesn't he? It's not like they're all hashtag. It's not even an ad, no. I mean, so he bought it and reviewed it.
You know, I said 400 plus miles of range. I said 401.
Yeah.
410 is pretty close to 401.
But I mean, it's just, I don't know. I have nothing to say for this thing. Like, neither this thing nor the SUV. I've just got nothing to say.
They're 100 grand plus cars, but they don't...
No, that's 100 grand plus.
Yeah, 109,000. Starting at 109,000.
Yeah. I mean, I could maybe, like, if it was more common, I could see it taking the place of, like, the general Mercedes SUV, the general Audis, the general Mercedes, those kind of things. But like, it isn't, because Audi has their own EV, which obviously they're taking their time. EVs need to be scaled down. We talked about this last time as well. They're too starting off expensive is the issue, which I guess because of the R&D, but until EVs are the affordable cars, yeah, you're not going to be really able to do much. And they need to make them the affordable cars because they need affordable cars, because eventually every car needs to be EV. And
on that note, not in the news list, I completely forgot.
Yeah.
EV cars going to start paying tax in the UK.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Do they not already?
No.
Yeah.
That was one of the appeals.
Yeah.
From 2025, they have to pay electronic, like, road duty. It's got some awful name, but it's road tax for EVs.
Why weren't they getting taxed before?
Because they want people to buy them.
I guess so, yeah. Because then, when did they... I feel like it's been like a year now since they repealed they pay you to buy an EV car, right?
Yeah.
So,
they're really starting to pull back on all the incentives now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the issue is again, they're all the high-end EV cars still. Like, what's some, like, low-end EV cars? Like, I'm talking, like...
MG6, MG-ZE, I think it's called.
Because...
Leaf.
Yeah,
Zoe.
the Leaf, yeah, those things. Because at the moment, it's just, it's Teslas... and then other high end stuff like the e-tron and the Taycan, etc. But now that that's gone, it's really, I guess, on the consumer now to buy an electric car, until the only cars you can buy are electric. At which point, well, that's not going to be for very very long, no, because even when every car is electric, the resale market is going to be booming with petrol cars.
It's not going to be. I don't reckon it's going to be majority electric till at least 2035. And that's when I say 50%.
When is the every car needs to be electric? Every new car needs to be electric now.
I think it is 2030 or 35. But you can't buy a most manufacturers, at least in the UK, you can't buy a at least partial hybrid.
Yeah.
Everything. Vauxhall basically all hybrids. Suzuki all basically hybrids. Toyota aren't, but Toyota are gonna struggle soon.
Yeah.
Honda's having to W-key it quickly because they are struggling to meet emissions targets.
I mean, the thing is, though, it's like, is that, honestly, if it's 35 or 30, that it is the, like, okay, every new car needs to be electric now, I genuinely think it will take, because, like, nowadays, 2030, yeah, because, like, nowadays, people will buy 10-year-old cars as their first car. They'll buy 10-year-old, 12-year-old, 15-year-old cars.
Tens of it generous. It's more like 12 to 15.
Yeah, 12 to 15-year-old cars is the thing. So I genuinely think it will probably take closer to 20 to 25 years after. Obviously, majority probably more close to like 20 years, maybe like the 15 to 20 years. But like
majority is going to be way sooner. It's already almost 10%.
Oh, okay, yeah. But like, I genuinely think it's going to take like 10, 20, something like that years for the whole resale market cars to die out, and then now it's the electric cars on resale.
The government doesn't do anything.
That's true, yeah, if they don't crack down on it.
Because the EU have announced they're going to do, once the thing has gone in place, they're going to analyse used market. Only reason that I can think they're going to do that is to imply a ban on high emission vehicles.
So what, car companies have 13 years?
They'll just do what they're doing to, like, because obviously diesel is a lot more expensive than petrol.
Yeah.
It didn't used to be like that.
Yeah.
Because the government wanted to phase out diesel cars, they have hiked the price of diesel.
So I assume it'll just, the same thing will end up
They'll
happening
do the same to petrol. They'll make it way too expensive to own. They'll raise tax. They'll raise everything.
Car companies have 8 years to actually start releasing affordable electric cars, or at least just AI traffic electric cars, which I guess this would be if it wasn't 100K. Like, this thing, at the price of, like, your average Mercedes, like a 40K, a 60K, I could understand. Because at that point, it's just trying to be the slightly middle-class AI traffic. That I could understand, as in, like, a Just
To
like
be
default
fair,
Mercedes.
I'll send you an image of it. This is This is £25,000.
25 grand, I would say, is pretty good. In like 8 years, that would probably be pretty. Yeah, like that's good. I mean, visually, it's I don't really know what's going on with the front.
It's
there.
MG. Who knows
Yeah,
what's
it's
going on
rather
with MG?
bug-eyed, I guess. But yeah,
I think that is the
that.
cheapest full EV.
And that's fully EV.
The UK. Yeah.
That's brilliant. Yeah, like that's what's gonna have to happen, or else people aren't gonna be able to go anywhere because they can't afford a petrol car, and then they can't afford a brand
So when
new
they come out with the 3,
exactly,
and
yeah.
like, what do they have? They have the ZS, the 3, the 6. Yeah, when they come out with the 3 version, the EV3, it'll be cheaper than that. It'll probably be like 18, 20.
That was me like 5 years ago thinking MG was some like old forgotten brand, and now they're doing this. Like, yeah. So yeah, that's what's gonna end up having to happen. And I mean, the cars like this, and I mean, I don't know the price of it, but the Drake Dragon, I doubt it's gonna be cheap.
That's $2,000, but it's a one-off. That'll be well over 100 grand.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, that's not trying to be this, but this thing. Maybe it's American priced. I don't know. Americans be buying Mustangs for their first
the issue
car,
is,
so...
when every car is electric, 100 grand is like S-Class price.
What's the what?
Well, that's like S-Class price, right?
Yeah.
So when Mercedes have an electric S-Class, why would you buy the Lucid over the Mercedes?
Exactly, yeah. I mean, that's the thing,
Especially
right?
considering they aren't in the UK at the
jumping
minute,
the gun on a market,
they aren't very popular.
Yeah. And when you can buy the i7 BMW, so why buy anything really when you can buy the i7?
It's a setup from the government. You walk into a dealership to buy one, there's like a spike trap on the roof.
It's just an i7 with the paperwork.
Natural selection.
Yeah. It's a honeypot. It's like we need to find out the people who are really buying i7s. Next on electric cars, because God. This podcast really was like, oh, let's make a car podcast, and it's an EV podcast now. It's the Porsche Macan. Last week we were talking about the Boxster that the electric version was spotted of, and it looked very not unique. It just looked like a Boxster but electric. It was like nothing really special about it. But the Taycan was also like that, where the Panamera was just electrified and then done Taycan, and then eventually the Taycan got its own style of design. But originally it was just a rip-off of the Panamera. Same seems to be happening with the Boxster, where it looks the exact same as the normal Boxster.
Yeah.
Hopefully, eventually that evolves, but we, only having that knowledge, we're talking about how that would be the first non-Taycan, well, first, like, Porsche being in that isn't the Taycan, essentially. But before that, and what seems to be way further in development, is the electric version of the Porsche Macan, set for 2024. This thing is essentially just a Macan. The rear looks different now that I look.
Estimated RRP of 80,000, by the way. It's not worth 60.
Like, yeah. I mean, it's like the Urus effect, right? It's for those people that, for some reason, want an SUV, but also don't want to get like an Audi or Mercedes or something like that. Instead,
the
want some
EV
like
SUV is better than that in every single way.
Unfortunately,
it's smaller.
Unfortunately,
it looks bad.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
no British bias either. It's
rich up themselves. Like people wouldn't see. I mean, maybe they would. To be fair, Lotus is pretty booming, but I think it's more just the Porsche and Lambo and Ferrari and that sort of preconceived.
Average Porsche owner.
The standard that they have, I guess. Even though Porsche really is the outlier there, because Porsches can be, 1, dirt cheap, 2, don't pick up any value once you've bought them. Definitely.
They depreciate like a rock.
Yeah.
Unless you buy like the GT2 RS, one of 3 made on a Friday afternoon by Jack.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like out of the cars that are like, McLaren, Ferrari, Porsche, or those kind of cars. Porsche is definitely the one that they delve into the poor man's supercar, really. A lot more than Ferrari, Lambo, McLaren, all of those lot do. But I mean, this one here, it just like it looks like, I don't know if it's the image quality, but it looks old. Like, it looks like an old car to me there.
It just looks like a 2013 sort of era Macan or Cayenne.
Yeah, it's got nothing unique about it. Again, it's just gonna end up being the same thing as last week, where it's just like, it's got nothing new about it, and hopefully eventually it changes. But I don't have much hope. It's got a grill, which I assume is gonna end up being a fake grill. If it's scheduled for 2024, it's still got a year of development, I guess.
It looks pretty finished to me.
Yeah, but like, when
they've got front bumper on it, like a new front bumper, they're not going to change much.
But it's, it's in different colors or whatever.
Ooh, can't wait for the green one.
What comes first is the question then. This or the other Porsche? Because, I mean, both were spotted. One was on the track, while this one was more, this one's like image. I mean, this one.
Same year. I reckon at the EICMA or whatever it is that year.
EICMA D's nuts.
EICMA D's nuts. They'll do a new Porsche EVs and have the new Taycan, the Boxster, and the Cayenne. It's like a new EV lineup.
Oh yeah, because they're doing that sporty Taycan as well, right? So they'll
I reckon they'll update the features. It'll be an all new EV lineup.
Yeah, it'll be the sporty Taycan, I reckon. This.
Why has it got
and I don't know.
Rooftop?
I assume they were like testing it in the dark. I don't know. You never know. They're testing it at nighttime. It's just like, it sucks that it's so ununique. I don't know what's going on with the headlights though. Like, what is that? What is going on there?
I don't know. It's got eyelashes, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it's wearing like glasses, I guess. I don't know what's going on with the headlights there. But I mean, it's so odd of a what are Porsche doing? What are they doing is the question. Other than that, not in oh my god, there is more EVs to talk about. You know what? Let's get the goddamn EVs out of the way with before we talk about
EVs of the week instead of Spider or Spider.
Yeah, I know. Instead, I was about to open the one that isn't an EV. McLaren is making an SUV or sedan EV.
I like how the image is just.
It's just this thing, yeah.
That is a McLaren.
Yeah. But I just. A sedan? Do McLaren have an SUV? They must, right?
No.
McLaren. See, it's whether I'm gonna see concepts.
You're gonna get concepts, yeah, if you search.
Yeah,
I don't think
Wait. We've already talked about this, yeah, because I've just seen this image and my memory has been jogged. We already saw news that McLaren is making an electric SUV, so I assume this is just news in conjunction with that. Oh,
why has it become possibly a sedan?
Yeah, it's just become maybe a sedan.
I'd rather a sedan over the Lambo wheels on a GTA car.
Yeah, but I mean, a McLaren SUV, I could see just in the way that Ferrari's making an SUV, Lambo have the Urus, Porsche have their SUVs. I could see McLaren doing it. I wouldn't be happy about it, but I could see them doing it.
They wouldn't do it well.
No. A sedan would be appreciated, I guess, right? Like, it probably wouldn't appreciate.
It would be so odd.
Yeah.
It would be like in 15 years, it'll be the cheap McLaren if they do make one.
That's the thing, right? Like, why would you do something to taint your reputation like that? I feel like
everyone's done it. The Gallardo's the cheap Lamborghini. The cheap Ferrari's the one of the three number.
How much of them is intended though? The cheap Porsches, all of them.
Still the Cayennes, they're like $3,000.
Yeah. But the thing is like, how much is that intended though? Because I mean, to be fair, the Urus and the Ferrari and all of those have set the pathway for a McLaren SUV. So if they did it, they could get away with it, I reckon, is the thing.
The issue is the Lotus SUV, albeit an SUV, works quite well. It's fairly small, and it looks like a Lotus without looking like a Lotus.
Yeah.
Everyone else has just gone, we have a car. Stick the front of that on a
stick the front on an SUV.
Yeah,
exactly. That's the
thing. And it looks awful every single time.
I mean, hopefully, I just don't think McLaren's fronts I think inherently don't work on an SUV. I mean, neither do Lamborghinis. That's why the Urus looks so goofy, really. It's like, thankfully, Lambo, like Lambo, because like, yeah, on the Urus, it's like maybe a Lamborghini, but like all raised, and then it's like build in the front.
It looks so
and then
bad
so,
in that image. It looks fake. Like it doesn't look real.
Like that, like Lamborghini's front didn't work on an SUV, so they had to make a new design for the Urus.
Why are the side skirts so much lower than the front bumper?
I don't know.
Awful car.
But yeah, hopefully, because McLaren's front, I think, similarly, especially from looking at concepts, doesn't work on the front of an SUV. Hopefully that means they try something new, like the Urus, and hopefully this time it actually goes well.
Like, I would much rather, because like whatever this is named, the 675 or the 720,
It's
whichever one it is.
Every McLaren at this rate, yeah.
But I would much rather an EV version of that than an SUV.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Well, do they have EVs? Because they don't,
No,
right?
they have hybrids,
They
like
have the
the
P1,
P1,
the hybrid. But it's like...
past tense,
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's like do that. You have a fairly, I would want to say, a pretty cool front styling at the moment. Like,
You just need like a tiny bit of an update to make it more like futuristic looking.
Make
but
the eyes a bit
it doesn't have
thinner.
the massive front grille because it's a rear engine, so it doesn't need much of an update.
Grill either. Yeah, just like smooth out the front a little bit, but sharpen up the corners, the vertices. And then, like, yeah, make the lights slightly thinner. Done. You've got yourself an electric McLaren. And then, yeah, like, surely, like, I feel like people would buy something like the 720S.
So like you could have the 720S, but you could have the 720E for the electric version.
720i
like,
or whatever, unless BMW's got
that's
copyright on that.
BMW would execute if they tried that.
But like the 720, I feel like that's a car that if it was electric, people would buy it, especially if it was like slightly souped up to look electric. Done. That's a high-end electric car that people would buy. Why jump to an SUV? You don't even have an SUV yet. You don't have a Urus equivalent. Why jump to
They
EV
don't have a
for the
sedan.
first one? They don't have it exactly. It's like what are McLaren doing?
Make a sedan.
You know what I fear? You know what I fear is that the sedan just ends up looking like the most default, like, Audi-looking thing.
Sedans age way too quickly, in my opinion. Like, imagine any Volkswagen, Audi, who else, like Mercedes sedan. They age within 10 years, instantly. They look, like, it's impossible for a sedan to age well.
Like, I just imagine, like, the most default-looking Audi, the most default-looking Merc, with the front essentially looking like... Who's the car company? I feel like I ask this every week. Who's the car company that has the lion eyes or whatever?
Peugeot.
Like, just a knockoff Peugeot-looking...
New Peugeot sedans look quite good.
Exactly, like, Peugeot has done it well. But I just imagine that. Like, just the most boring-looking Audi with a slightly lower front, and then, like, yeah, like a knockoff Peugeot-looking eyes with the lines going down.
Fair, this has knockoff Peugeot lines.
That's what I'm talking about, right? That's where I'm getting it from, right? Because it's like, that's just what I imagine. If I live in a world where McLaren has the most boring-looking sedan in existence...
Peugeot has a better-looking SUV than McLaren. Uninstall.
Like an SUV is the thing with an SUV, right? I'm numb to it. You know, Ferrari, Lambo, all of them, they have SUVs. It's like if McLaren had one, I'd be like, sure, whatever. They saw the Urus, went, money, and then made this. But to make a sedan, it's just such
It would be such a cop-out. It would be automatic only. It would just be it would be an all-wheel drive automatic. I suppose it would be EV, wouldn't it? So it wouldn't even have to be
Exactly.
Oh, that'd be so...
It
would depreciate like a rock. There'd be 15 grand in 10 years.
It would just be like a Lucid Air. It would just be like a non-electric, like it's there, right?
That is definitely a sedan, but it has a front on it.
Unless they got lucky and they made it to the same caliber as the Taken, because the Taken has like a name. The Taken is like
same caliber as the Taken.
I mean, like, you know, the Taken is like a car.
Rolling tax expense.
Yeah. But if it was on the same prestige as the Taken minimum and marketed itself as a Taken competitor and looked good, I feel like maybe... I mean, the Taken has these exact kind of lights as well. The thing coming down from the end of the headlights. That, maybe. But it would have to be slightly high end of a sedan, which I guess if it's a McLaren, sure. But then why do a sedan? Oh my god, I'm gonna lose my mind.
I wait to buy one in 15 years for £4.
An electric 720S could have been so good.
Yep.
They wouldn't even have to do much, and it would by default be like a whoa, the electric McLaren. Like
they wouldn't even have to like a hard time getting weight balance. They could just take up the front and the rear part with the batteries as well. It would work so well.
Yeah. Well, after that, McLaren trying new things in the worst way. Lambo is doing some cool things in a cool way with the release on November 30th in Miami. The off-road McLaren Lamborghini Huracan with front lights.
It's a Huracan with a wide body and front lights.
It's like if you gave a Huracan to a Forza player and were like, make this an off-road spec one, essentially. It's got a cool wide body. I don't know why the wide body's black. Discolored wide body's kind of bad, but it's got custom splitter, custom side skirt, a custom spoiler, which I'm seeing looks pretty cool.
Like a roof scoop.
Yeah, roof scoop.
All the way at the back of the roof, because sure.
Yeah, and then it's got like something you wouldn't expect to see on a Huracan. Roof box
rails.
things. Yeah, roof rails. Yeah, as well as probably beefier.
Why are there roof rails there? Because imagine you put a roof box on it. Where is the intake?
yeah.
On the roof.
Like, what do you take off the hood? Do the Lambo have to sell their own custom roof rack, like roof thing? Because
of course, it's probably $400 extra.
Yeah, it's cool that they've done it, I guess. Like, I don't know.
There are stock Citroens with more ride height than that.
Yeah.
Anything stock has more ride height than that.
It's more just like, it's not really off-road, it's more the dirt road Lamborghini rather than an off-road. It really is an off-road.
Lightly gravelled road.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, thinking of Miami, I guess it would make sense, because dirt road, stuff like that, you know, like the swamp road and whatnot. Not exactly delving into the swamp, but on like a dirt swamp road, sure, you know, I guess.
Those roof rails are solely for visuals. Like, look how small they are, and the air intakes on the roof.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's cool that they do it themselves. It will always be an indicator of how much less up themselves of a company Lamborghini is than Ferrari, you know.
I'm sure Lotus would like to, but I don't think they can afford it.
Yeah, they probably can't afford it is the issue, yeah. Because, you know, it's like Ferrari would, like, I don't know, cease and desist you for doing this to a Ferrari.
Porsche did one recently as well.
Did they? What, an off-road version of,
they made a car 911, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, kind of cracked. But it's cool when companies do it. I mean, how many of these are really going to... How many of these do they make is the question, right? And
if they made 500,
sure,
500, I guess.
Yeah, I'm surprised the Huracan's still going.
They're all going to sit with 0 miles, so...
Yeah. I mean, again, like... it's a surprise that the Huracan's still going, I guess. You know, it's...
It looks quite dated, to be fair.
Yeah, I like, looking at it now, it's like the Huracan feels like it's been around for a while. And the Aventador felt like it had been around for a while, and... Look what happened to that, you know, it's
I just don't get why.
I still say, you know what, I think as a baseline, it's nice that they did something cool like that. I stand by that, where it's cool. It's a brand made off-road Lamborghini, you know, put it in video games or whatever. But other than that, I don't think there's much else on the other stuff like that. What is this? Because I've got this here. The closure for AI to the show time for people just still whining over maybe self-driving. But oh my god!
Just published the Porsche.
Oh, did you? Where the what? Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I think I saw this. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very similar. Like, it's not got much more ride height, but
yeah, it's like a
they're making 2,500 of them, and there are 173k plus. They start at 170 grand.
But I kind of want to go on to from self-driving. It's, I guess, as a car podcast, like I wouldn't maybe mention it somewhere else or whatever, because maybe it's a bit too controversial. I don't know, but it's kind of really goddamn sad, I guess. But did you see the clip of the runaway Tesla? I think it was.
That's old now. Is it the one in? Was it UK?
It wasn't UK. No, not even that.
Oh no, that was a Range Rover. Yeah.
Yeah, this was recent because I remember I saw the clip in replies to Elon on Twitter because he's always getting stuff in his replies, and then I looked it up and videos talking about it were like 2 days ago because I assume Tesla gave their statement about it 2 days ago. Tesla loses control. I'm not gonna play the video, more just skip around to frames. 2 people were fatally hit during this whole waffle that went on with this thing. It's indeed warning for stuff like that. Of course, it's a guy. I think it was in China. Yeah,
it's a Model X as well.
Yeah, it's a very custom one too, like a customized version of the Model X. And essentially, what ended up happening was now there's 2 separate accounts. I guess I'll get into that after the fact, because Tesla gave their statement after. From the driver's statements and everything that happened, he hits the brakes, slows down, police confirmed he wasn't intoxicated, he slows down, you can see the brake lights are on. The brake lights of the car are on, but he's still rolling. And then out of nowhere, he's about to plow into a tree, bike goes past, and the car just speeds off. And then just, like look at, 2 seconds after there, it's made it from there to there, and just blitzes. 2 people were fatally hit. It just plows through. This one, like, hey, I guess I'll show this bit where it doesn't hit anyone in the beginning bit. But it just starts speeding off, and just picks up speed. Picks up speed.
5, Jesus Christ.
And just picks up speed. And here there's a person there, and it just like it gets on the camera at 26 seconds, and the speed of that, and it goes into someone there, it continues on, and I believe it goes even further onto here. There's I don't know what they're called, but like a caddy or something like that. Obliterates it, just nukes it, and then plows into a building, big crash and whatever. And again, it's like, wow. The driver said was putting the brakes on, car just started. He was confirmed to not be intoxicated. He survived. And Tesla, they quickly scooped in, quickly took all the information from the car, and then they personally said, the logs show that the brake was never hit, and the logs show that he slammed down the accelerator the whole time, etc., etc. And that was Tesla's official statement.
That's an awful statement. Because you can see the brakes being pressed.
That's the thing. The brake lights go off. So it's like, what goes wrong? So clearly something... What did he just slam on the accelerator and the car was like, no, brake lights? And then now just blitz down this road going infinitely faster and faster and faster and faster, right? This man was confirmed not to be intoxicated. So it's like, surely, eventually his brain would have gone, oh shit, my foot's on the accelerator right now. We're going pretty damn fast. Maybe I'll stop now, before he goes miles and miles ahead and then hits people. I believe a couple were injured, like 5 injured or so. But the
I mean, from the data they collect, how can they tell that he pressed the accelerator or the car thought he pressed the accelerator? Right? Like, what's the difference?
Because the brake light's going off, and
it's all throttle and brake by wire. I don't know if they are brake by wire, but there's no actual cable for the accelerator. It's just a sensor that says, oh, you're pressing X amount.
Yeah.
If the sensor thought he was pressing X amount and he wasn't, not really much you can do.
And also, to go that, our logs showed that, clearly, again, okay, so the 2 option is that this guy is just a masochist and just instantly, or just a psycho and just slammed on the brakes and it was all him, or the, I guess, probability leaning towards that it was a malfunction. You know, well, a malfunction could also show in the logs that, you know, oh, well, he pressed it, you know? It's like the whole point is that it's a malfunction, so obviously the logs are going to show that the brakes were never hit, and like to say never hit, the guy wasn't intoxicated. You're telling me at no point through blitzing there, he was like, I'll hit the brakes now, I think? Like, it's just, it's... And Tesla did their own study, and then I think I was watching, Unbox Therapy, he uploaded his podcast uploaded a clip of it where it was like getting a third party to examine the data, but it's like Tesla would then have to show them how to examine it, and there'd be like, you know, sharing internal data or whatever, but it's just
very, like, very suspicious.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, there's that on both sides.
And considering how many corners Tesla cuts,
yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if it just had a mare and decided, yep, no, you're pressing the accelerator all the way down. I
mean, before the Tesla statement, etc., I think it was Tesla. Someone else did make a statement that was like, because of the footage being cut together so well. I mean, I don't know what date this was. Maybe they had the time to do so. But yeah, because of the footage, there was conspiracy. They're like, no, this footage is fake as well. You know.
It's an X. It's not even like it's a Model S or 3. Yeah. It's a really expensive version.
Oh, it's a Model Y. Model Y, yeah. A very custom one though is the thing, right? Like he's got the rims and everything is it's a cream color as well. Unless, yeah, it is cream. At least it looks it. But to lose control this badly, and I need this clarified, right? I saw a comment that said, this is why we need emergency brakes. Does it not have emergency brakes?
Most new cars have electronic emergency brakes.
Like,
there's like a little switch you pull.
Yeah, but it's like...
Which is an awful design.
Because that's something that's also prone to malfunctioning. Yes, yep. Physical things can also, I don't know, break or maybe malfunction, but it's
that's why you have an MOT, to make sure that your handbrake cable is functioning. Exactly, yeah. Your brakes aren't worn.
Like, what, will MOTs have to start scanning through code now as well? Like,
no, Tesla wouldn't let them, ever.
Exactly, that's the thing. They wouldn't be allowed, because it's a whole different thing to look through a company's source code rather than look through the car that needs to be MOT'd. So it's like they can't check up on an electronic emergency brake.
I mean, I'm amazed that, well, there's failure rates with parts. No part will ever be perfect.
Exactly, right?
And I'm amazed it's taken this long for a throttle activation switch to just give up.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's...
And it's just a shame it gave up in one way and not the other.
Yeah. Like, god damn. And
it's with how much torque they make.
Yeah.
The brakes, I don't think, would do much, considering this was instantly doing like 100 mile an hour instantly.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it would have at least like slowed it down, I don't know, given a bit of control, etc. But like, yeah, the way this happened.
Well, if it probably has ESP. If ESP was kicking on, they would have removed brake pressure.
I mean, someone else said kill switch. Just a boop kill switch thing, which I guess would
be electronic.
Like, I mean, yeah, that's the thing, but that can malfunction as well. But I mean, I guess at that point,
if it's not manual, there's always a chance that it's going to fail.
I guess,
and with EVs, everything's electronic.
It's a probability game at that point, right? You're adding
if
more
if it was a system failure, I don't think kill switch would have done, unless it was literally like a switch for the battery. Like,
yeah, I mean, that's what I mean, right? Like an external kill switch that like a separate kill switch that'll inject into the main thing to externally shut it off. Which, yes, then that could malfunction as well. But at that point, it's just about adding more things for the if it malfunctions. Like, a kill switch would make sense. I like 100%. I feel like obviously external. Yes, it could I don't know. Add a kill switch for the kill switch.
They were meant to have the sensors on front that say there is a person in front. The car goes, oh yeah, I won't eviscerate them.
Like, how great of a malfunction was this? How, like...
It has to be a complete... Because even if he was matting the throw, surely you would have seen the cars ahead and auto brakes. Like, you always hear how over-intrusive the systems are. How they always, like, if you're in traffic, they auto slow you down. But they didn't that.
Well, there's the whole thing about self-driving cars where, like, a cyclist will be on the pavement like a mile ahead, and it'll slam on the brakes. Like it's just like which
it has to be a full failure of
yeah.
anything for this to happen.
I mean, it's a hard thing to get in the middle of, right? Because people will complain if it slams on the brakes because of a cyclist on the pavement, and they'll complain like this, more justifiably so.
Well, I mean, they hadn't removed the alloy braking system. It just didn't work.
I mean, yeah, exactly, right? But it's like, it's just, you're playing with
like, how many things had to have failed for this to occur?
Yeah. And it's
on a new
like,
car as well.
Yeah.
It's kind of insane. It's not even like they're like 15 years old where maybe sensors and like set like all that are starting to fail.
Yeah.
It's new. It's
shocking, yeah. And this was the footage was released 5 days ago, and I believe Tesla's comment was, oh, pardon me, I think maybe the day after or 2 days after. But it's just, yeah, and they said, oh, it was the driver, which, I mean, I guess, yeah, they would say, but also like, oh my god, it's so sketchy. It really is.
If it was the driver, why did none of the auto braking things work?
Yeah. Oh, exactly.
No
right,
matter what, there was a failure somewhere on Tesla's part.
I mean, Jack Massey Welsh has done a thing where, like, if you pretend to be asleep in the Tesla, like, completely not respond to any of the things while it's in self-driving, the car will automatically park itself. So it's like, why didn't... So, yeah, if it was the driver, why did none of the things to counter the driver kick in? The stuff like hitting someone, etc. And then, like, yeah, because it's got a counter for if the driver falls asleep or is being too unresponsive during self-driving. So it's like, yeah, why did nothing there kick in? It's such a sketchy thing. And
also, it doesn't help how it's like probably a 2.5-ton SUV going like Mark 5.
And I mean, you didn't hear of this, I assume then, yeah. So it's like, not a lot of talk is going on. I only found out about it because someone replied with the clip.
Well, I imagine Tesla's quite eager to get this covered quite quickly. They don't want anyone.
Exactly, that's the thing, right? Because, like, yeah, the first time I heard of it was, saw it was in a reply clip to Elon, and I was like, oh, how many years old is this? And then I searched it on YouTube, and it was like, people talking, the actual clip 5 days ago, people talking about it 2 days ago, 3 days ago, stuff like that. And it's like, no word is being spread about this whole thing that's happened. But it's actually a really thing that should be talked about, if anything.
It just seems odd. Like, I don't... Why did none of the...
Nothing kicked
assists work?
Nothing stopped it, yeah. I mean, I assume that hopefully there's more talk about it soon, so Tesla could, I guess, explain a bit more. I mean, I only know much of their response from the clip that I watched of Unbox Therapy's podcast, where he talked about, and like, yeah, their statement was that no, it was the driver. As far as I'm aware, of course, everything with a grain of salt. Not exactly god-tier research here, you know.
Also says at the bottom of the article, Tesla has faced multiple claims of brake failure in China before.
Okay, yeah. So what parts are they using for their Chinese models then? Because they're clearly whoever they're getting their stuff from in China.
Cheapest parts humanly possible.
Exactly, yeah. And it's doing some terrible stuff.
I imagine it's a Hyundai situation where... Oh, there's no regulation on using X parts in America, so we won't. So their cars get stolen a lot. I imagine it's the same. Oh, China doesn't have any regulations against using X-rated brake pedals.
Yeah.
We'll put the cheaper one in.
Exactly, right? It's just like...
the car's a complete meltdown because it's made for 4 pence.
And something's going to have to happen here, but, you know...
This China, I don't reckon it will. American company will never be found. America will never let them get prosecuted for that, ever.
No, especially an American company that would count for export money.
That's why it's not even being talked about, because it's like, whoa, but America, USA.
It's baffling that it's not being talked about. Like, yeah, like the fact that it was literally, I found it in a reply tweet and then I had to manually search it. But yes, to move on from that, which a very odd and a rather wacky situation, wacky in a more, not as in like a wacky situation. More as in like
wacky situation.
Yeah, more like like what even kind of a situation. Moving on from that, a big thing this week, which we talked about last week, and we were like, a Prius new announcement. They've showed a silhouette of it. It's just gonna be a Prius. But turns out, the new Prius is actually like a slightly cool looking car.
That's very Peugeot headlights.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's not got the full... It's got like, I guess kind of an invert. Like the bit coming down is the light, and then it's got
if that was going down, there'd be Peugeot copies.
Yeah. But, like, they've genuinely actually done something to make it look like a new design, a unique design. It's still hybrid, though, right?
Yeah. You're going to get 30 miles of EV power out of it.
Yeah, see, if that was EV, it's just like why?
It's a petrol car that can drive 30 miles on electric power.
Yeah,
It has like a 2-litre in it, doesn't it? It's a 2-litre i4. It's not exactly fuel efficient.
I mean,
it's a very you can tell it's an American market car.
Yeah.
Because they would never ever put a 1-litre 3-cylinder in there or something.
Which, speaking of,
not allowed to be fuel efficient.
Exactly, yeah. Which, speaking of, the Toyota Prius, this new one, will not be coming to the UK. Specifically because I believe what it was the last model sold like...
They sold like 23 or something.
Yeah, the last model sold nothing. Which sucks, because it's like the one good-looking Prius. The Prius is like a meme car.
Toyota's like one of the only manufacturers with a lot of UK vehicles.
Yeah.
Like we have EU-specific cars.
Yeah. But it's
it's understandable.
The one cool Prius. What are the Uber drivers gonna buy? You know, what are the
S and C classes?
True, yeah. We had all of the Lyft and the Ubers and them lot, because it's just like, I don't know, it sucks. It really does.
No, it's a 4-door, but it's got the odd 4-door. Yeah.
How is it a? Because it's got the handle on
like C-pillar. Yeah.
God, that caught me out on something else as well. Another car also caught me out.
I always think I'm like, that's it. But I've only ever seen like, it's a very Toyota thing to do.
Yeah. It does really suck that we're not getting it, though. The back is definitely a weird design. It's got that video game car design, is what the back looks like. It's a 2-litre.
It'd be...
Yeah.
I reckon it'd be classified as a high tax vehicle, so no one buy it anyway.
Yeah. It
would have made 2 litres fuel efficient for the US.
It would have made a cool taxi, I reckon. It would have made a cool Uber.
It'd be too expensive.
But, yeah, that's the issue, yeah.
It would be a fleet vehicle. Like, I don't know, Central Beds would buy 10 of them to use as government vehicles, but that's about it.
Compared to the old Prius, though, I saw an old Prius a couple days after this announcement was made. God, compared to the old ones, this one is a lot better.
The issue is, it being a hybrid isn't a selling point anymore.
Yeah. If it was electric, that would have been...
The new Civic's a hybrid. Like, it's just a normal sedan thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's not special anymore.
Compared to this... I think it's definitely a step
that
up.
thing's whole purpose was to be as aerodynamic as humanly possible.
Aerodynamic? I mean, I guess. It's nice that they're actually going for a
little
little bit of style.
Very round.
Yeah, I see that, I guess. And then there's the, like, really old Prius that was just, like, I guess even more aerodynamic, which was just flat, I guess.
Yeah.
Then it sort of went to... It kind of just became a different car for a little bit. It got that whole angrier design. It went from round to angry and jagged to now, I guess, what the new modern futuristic cars are, which is more, I guess, instead of jagged, it's more sharp, if anything.
Yeah, it just looks modern.
Yeah, and I think they've done a genuinely really good job at the new updated design for the Prius. I can imagine the Americans, the Americans probably wouldn't like it. I mean, it's probably big, so they might. And I wouldn't say it's got the goofy feeling of the Prius. So I don't know. I don't know what the American market would think of this car.
It's not an SUV.
Exactly, that's the issue. It's not a pickup that's 50,000 miles long. So it's like...
It has a manufacturer estimated 57 mpg.
What does that mean? Miles per gallon?
That's not even EU regs.
Oh, so no wonder. I guess they really had it planned not to come then. Yeah, I assume...
That's awful.
Yeah. I assume they really were ready for it to knock out. It sucks that, I'm never going to see one in person. Like, it's not even like it's a McLaren or a Ferrari or something. It's not even something wild and wacky. It's just a Prius, but it looks cool enough that it's like, I'd want to see one of those, what they look like in person, and I'm never gonna get to.
Yeah, it's not that environmentally friendly, to be honest.
Is it not?
No.
I mean, that was its thing, right? Like, was that the Leaf?
It used to be, but now everyone's caught up.
Yeah.
Less than 60 mpg. Yeah.
I don't understand why it's not hybrid. Not hybrid. Why it's not electric? Why like it's
because Toyota don't have the infrastructure.
Do they?
Toyota don't have an EV yet.
Do they not have an EV yet?
No.
Oh my, wow. Okay, Toyota's.
No, the Nissan Leaf, the Renault Zoe. I can't think of any other older cheap EVs. Toyota don't have one.
Because Toyota, because I remember we saw the thing a while back on the news, which was Toyota rushing because they've fallen behind on EVs.
Yeah, they don't have an EV.
So it's like, God, this would have been so easy to just be like, well, this one's our first, because it would have made sense too, right? As far as I remember, this was like the hybrid car back in like years ago now. Like I want to say like 7, 8, 9 years ago. Like the Prius was like the hybrid car, and then now, now it's just a car. It looks cool, sure, the new version, but it could have been their first EV. I think
they're banking on hydrogen, because they still sell hydrogen vehicles.
Where do you refuel a hydrogen vehicle?
In like one fuel station in the UK.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's just... So much for Toyota is rushing to move up their EV plan with this thing.
They do have an EV.
Do they?
Apparently, allegedly.
The
BZ4X.
Yeah, the Toyota BZ4X.
It's 50 grand basically.
Oh,
300 miles.
It's an SUV.
It's an SUV, yeah.
Why have I never ever seen one or even heard of or seen an image of one before?
Because I guarantee you they only have it to pad out their fleet emissions.
Yeah.
They don't actually sell any of them.
Like, that looks like nothing is what that looks like. That looks like... What is this design? Why has it got the, like...
It's as cheap as humanly possible, I imagine.
Yeah, it's got like a millimeter wide body, I guess. Which is kind of cool.
I don't get why it exists.
Yeah, so I guess Toyota do have an EV, which no one knows about, I guess. The best
They're doing a really good job hiding it.
Yeah. I mean, why are they hiding it then? Because it's like...
It has a max speed of 99 miles an hour. Maybe that's why they're hiding it.
Is it on the market? Can you buy one?
Apparently, it's got a price of $42,999 for the base.
It's... Oh, what? And no one... They've never marketed it. To, like, literally any degree, and no one's...
Quick Auto Trader.
Yeah, how many of these are...
National, what is it, Toyota?
When did they start making it?
There's none. There's none for sale in the UK.
Oh.
Apparently it's for sale. It's on sale now, apparently.
Is this a conspiracy? Are they pretending to sell an electric car?
There's none for sale in the UK.
Not a single one of the images.
But it's on the Toyota.co.uk website.
And it's on for sale now. Is it 2022? Yeah, Toyota 2022 BZ improved. I mean, there's an Autocar article about it, but every single image I'm looking at...
It's to pad out fleet emissions. It has to be.
Like, yeah. It's
such a nothing car. 42 grand for a car with a max speed of 99 miles an hour is awful.
Not a single real world image. Yep, every single one is proper photography at a car show or a render. Like, there's not a single real world image of it.
Yeah, the first customer cars in the UK will arrive in June 2022.
So it should already be here, right? Yeah.
It's been out for 5 months, almost 6 months.
And not
a single one has made it to the UK.
Well, you can't buy it. Yeah, what is this? This is a conspiracy right here. It's does it exist in the US? Is it just us two who don't know about it? But it's like, so I guess they do have an EV. So then, really, why not make this thing an EV, the Prius? Like, what in the Toyota is this?
I don't get it.
How
can it have a 7-second 0 to 60 and 99 mile an hour top speed? What is it actually that unaerodynamic?
Yeah, and the BZ4X. Not only have I never heard that name before, it's a terrible name.
That's a bit to the bottom of search terms.
Exactly. Who would search BZ4X? Like, who goes on Auto Trader and it's like Prius, Prius Supra, Prius...
Like, his
the
dual motor four-wheel
64X.
drive only makes 190 foot-pounds of torque, 214 horsepower, has that awful of a top speed. This isn't meant for anyone to actually buy. If you checked any spreadsheets, that MG I put is faster, is quicker to 60, and is half the price, and looks better.
And even though this is technically...
And you can actually buy the MG.
Yeah.
You can go into a shop and buy one.
And even though technically this has officially released in the UK...
For 6 months.
For 6 months, you can't buy a single one.
They don't exist.
This and I don't know if you can buy them in America or anywhere else because not a single image.
91 mile an hour, at least, like the highway speed. Like,
Yeah.
you would no one would buy one in the US.
Like, not a single image on Google Images is at all a real world image. Every single one is a car show or professional photography or a concept. Not a single real world image. This car doesn't exist. Toyota has made their first EV and haven't made their first EV. They've made a car to lie about
news about it being delayed. It's all as if it's
so
Toyota may increase output of BZ4X. So of what? Zero to one.
But yeah, it's not a car that exists. Toyota is lying about selling an electric SUV.
It doesn't. Like, I don't get what.
And then aren't making
real world range of 181 miles. No one would buy this if you looked at the spec sheet.
And clearly no one is, and clearly
It's
no
slow,
one can.
it's heavy, it's big, it has awful range, and it doesn't exist.
And I just what?
I don't get it. What is this article they may what's it called? Increase output? What do they mean?
Give me a minute.
It's in multiplication as well.
It's oh, wait a minute. It's a very, very, very slight rebadge of an electric Subaru. Oh my god. Yeah, wait a minute. If you look at this, it's got that wide body, right? And you see how the wide body's got the very flat wide body on the back.
It's a rebadge.
And then it's got like the going in, and you see that hole for the headlights. You see how it's got pretty big headlights. You can see the Toyota version, they put their own version of headlights, and then because you can see the cutout. I was so confused as to why this panel is there above that. It's just a rebadge of the electric Subaru, which the Solterra. Which I think also doesn't sell because I don't see a single real-world image of it. So it's like a BRZ GT86 where both companies are selling it. And it's a rebadge.
I don't get why.
It's the exact same car, yeah, because if you look at the back as well, the back is the exact same rear light. Literally, all that has happened is the front panel, Subaru have their own, which actually has like a Mark E Mustang-style outlined grille.
I prefer the Subaru version.
Yeah, I know, I prefer the Subaru version by far. And the Subaru has the bigger headlights, and instead of Toyota remodeling the hood or remodeling the front bumper, what they've done is they've taken out the Subaru headlights, put in their smaller headlights, and then filled in the empty gap with just a panel. Just a negative gap panel.
They want to increase production by 6 or 12 times.
Increase what?
Are they making it out of the factory?
Who's buying it? Is it going to the Chinese market, maybe?
But it's UK. You can buy. You're meant to be able to buy it in the UK. Has no one ever? Actually, I can check DVLA registers.
This is
What is it? Toyota
BZ4X. Yeah, Toyota BZ4X, and the Subaru is the Solterra. This is a conspiracy. It's the same. It's a reboot. Okay, so it's like the BRZ and the GT86, where it's just the same car.
Never mind.
But it's like
6 exist in the UK. 6 have made it.
What about the Solterra? Subaru SOLTERRA.
What is it?
SOLTERRA. Solterra EV. Is that one sold more, less, or does that one not exist?
It's just my blank. None of them.
Wait, so what's so this?
None at zero. A big zero have made it over.
So it's just the
It's a conspiracy theory that this car exists.
it
They
doesn't
made like 6 pre-production models and sent them over. It's like, here, have this.
Yeah, I don't believe that those 6 are even being driven by real people. There's no
There's
way.
more Veyrons in the UK than these.
If you were out car spotting, this thing is a rarer
This
car
is rarer than a
than
Veyron, so make sure to snap an image.
Oh my god! Like,
89 mile an hour top speed is tragic.
yeah, why?
Like when you get to 90 miles an hour, there's a panel at the front open up, becomes a windbreak. Like I don't.
Yeah. Like just what? And it's just like a Subaru, and the Subaru version isn't here. So
Subaru rebadge. There's less of these in the UK.
yeah. And yeah, like the shape is the exact same. Literally, all they've done is they've replaced the front bumper. Is all they've done, and they've done it in such a lazy way that instead of remodeling the headlights, they just put in a panel for the negative zone in the headlights to fit them in. Wow, that's the like. Oh my, that's just unraveled. That's a top 10
awful.
car conspiracies. A Toyota have an electric car that has sold but doesn't sell, and you can't buy it, but there has been 6 bought, and it's technically not even a Toyota. It's a Subaru rebadge.
It's not
like
6
the
have been bought.
6
6 are registered in the DVLA, so 6 have been in the UK at some point.
And it's like the BRZ and GT86 where it's just a rebadge, but it's like, was it like Subaru?
Like that could just mean Toyota HQ in the UK have had 6 delivered.
To just show.
That doesn't mean 6 on the road.
It's been in car shows and stuff. Those are probably just the ones that they brought for car shows.
Yeah, like, easily, 100%,
so it's a car that doesn't sell. What if it's just like a contractual thing? What if Subaru made the SUV and then we're like, Toyota, we're gonna force you to make a Toyota version?
Flea emissions. So like when you were like, what are you doing to make EVs? They'd be like, look, EV. Yeah. No one wants it. I don't know why.
But never promote it, so people don't be like. So people are.
So that BZ4, whatever it was.
Give it a terrible name. Don't promote it. So when they actually make a proper EV, they can be like, "Oh, first EV." This is oh my god, and it's like the last main topic in the podcast.
Imagine how good it would be if they brought back the MI2, isn't it? Either.
Instead, we get the BZ4X.
BZ4X.
And then the Solitaire.
So what's the non-crossover going to be called? The BZ4S for sedan.
Yeah. I am baffled. I don't think there's any other. Because isn't there?
When MG have the best EV out at the minute, just retire.
Like I don't think. Because isn't there 3 companies? We only got the BRZ and the GT86, but isn't there a third of a
Scion
rebadge?
FRS.
Zion.
S with an S.
Scion.
Scion. SCION.
Electric SUV.
I don't think Scion exists anymore.
Okay, no. Oh my god, they're just minivans is all I'm seeing, so...
Yeah, Scion, whatever is this.
Yeah, okay, well, yeah. But, god damn, that's... I don't even know what to say. That's a conspiracy.
Tragic.
It's upsetting, but it's like, wow.
It's 100% fleet emissions, or they're research vehicles. Like, just to be like...
Yeah.
So how have Subaru made this?
Well, I mean, there's also like a thing where it's like, I mean, yeah, what if EU were like, you need 1 electric car at least, but also...
Well, with fleet emissions, they've got the Supra, the 86, the GR Yaris.
Yeah.
If Ford are having to cancel the Fiesta, the normal Fiesta, not like it's just gone, and Honda can't afford to keep their only non-hybrid car hybrid anymore for emissions, Toyota must be either making a massive deal with the EU, or owe a lot of money to the EU.
And I guess maybe they were like, we don't want to put research and development into this. Rebadge the Subaru. We've done that before, so let's just do it again, I guess.
I don't get how MG have the money. So, like, because that costs 40 grand, by the way, 45 grand.
Yeah.
How MG have done research and development on a brand new platform and made a car that looks like that for 25 grand? No one else can get a car out.
Yeah.
MG were bankrupt like 10 years ago.
God, that is... Wow. Okay. I mean, I want to go into the gaming segment now, but, like, That's huge. Well, we've unraveled a conspiracy theory. This is. Oh my god. Okay, wow. This week in racing games, the Crew 2 is in their first week of their 7th season update, being Into the Storm, bringing 5 new events into the game, as well as also bringing the Mitsubishi FTO and the Pontiac Trans Am. They also held a Grand Crew streamer competition, creator competition, which I was in. On top of that, there is a bunch of cars to release through the update. There's a Demolition Derby spec'd platinum car. There's 2 cars that are like hidden. I mean, I know what they are, but you might have to guess what they are. They are bringing back...
I can contractually say what I think they are. I think, in quotation marks, they are the Countach, the old and the new one.
But who knows? I don't. Who knows? I mean, I do, but I don't. They are also announced to be bringing back their custom version of the Mitsubishi Evo, the Red Fury edition, an M8 upgraded version, as well as the Lamborghini Performante, all exclusive cars going to be released throughout the next 2 months. Currently, they are in the Pontiac Addict Summits that they do presumably just for brand relations. And yeah, sure, you know, fair play, I guess. Forza Horizon 5 this week enters their first Donut Media week, and I'm hearing negative reviews. I'm hearing that apparently the reward for the whole store, apparently it's got, like, I remember, because someone said it, and I remember you said the same thing, where it's like, it's probably just going to be the Donut Media people's cars. Apparently it wasn't even that. You get a Forza Edition Trans Am for playing all the events, and you get, which again, like the Trans Am and the Trans, they just share licenses now, and apparently it's just like, it's nothing. Like, it's just reskinned cars is what it is. It's not even new models, it's just reskinned cars. The customization options they've added, apparently it was maybe a licensing issue, but now that it's sorted, they're treating it like it's a big new addition rather than just, hey, we can also finally add these as well. Which, and yeah, I saw a video literally today being like, hey, this is pretty bad.
Yeah, Forza moment.
Yeah, I mean, people aren't really happy with the... People seemingly just haven't really been happy with this Forza in general.
It feels like a kind of half-effort attempt at making a game.
Yeah. Yeah, and other than that, Need for Speed... What did Need for Speed do this week? Because we got weekly drops, but I have no idea what
Probably
this
more
week...
clothes.
Yeah. Another game mode that everyone's kind of like...
That was the announcement of the no cops in online, stuff like that.
Oh, was it that PvP?
Yeah.
Yeah, no cops in online, no nighttime in online, 4-player maximum cruise.
Cruise, 8-player lobby.
8-player lobbies.
He's very crew-esque, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, God, that is...
And that's ridiculed for that system.
Yeah, God, that is...
All I have to say is, EA, never had any hope in the first place.
Yeah, and I mean now, we're only 2 weeks away from the release of Unbound, so I guess we wait for that now.
There's a reason I haven't pre-ordered
it. Yeah. Well, I'm going to be playing it day one, so if you want to see Unbound content, hop over to my channel. It's going to be linked in the description and whatnot. Subscribe to Josh as well. His link is there as well. Other than that, racing game news, I don't think there was much else.
There's not much else, really.
Yeah, Horizon entered that. Crew entered that. And Need for Speed did a bad, I guess. They started on a high. I mean, they really did. It was like the map and the licenses.
It's almost as if they had not much good to show off, so they showed it all off at the start to get people hyped.
To go daily.
So now they're just showing disappointments, I guess. Yeah. I guess.
Wait a minute. Is the EV Hummer in Warzone?
Oh, yeah, it's in Warzone 2.
What?
Did you not know?
No!
It's an odd brand deal, but it exists.
That's so cool. I've just seen that because it's a Warzone guy I follow uploaded a clip, and I'm looking at it. And I'm like, is that the Hummer? Is he playing Cyberpunk? Is he playing a different game? No, that's Warzone.
Yeah. Warzone 2 has the Hummer EV as a vehicle in it for some reason.
kind of cool, I want to say. Like, it's like the Ferrari in Fortnite is what it's like. It's like when the Ferrari was in Fortnite, the Hummer in Warzone.
Yeah. I don't get it. Like,
brilliant.
Yeah,
that is
sure.
brilliant. Oh, I hope that stays like that. It looks so out of place.
It's just everything's all dark and grey. And just this bright white Hummer.
It's like military cars and trucks and 4x4s that are like, you know, stripped down and with guns on the back, and then Hummer.
It's the fact just pearl white as well. Like, stinks out.
It's such a cyberpunk looking car, but then in God. God, that's brilliant. Wow, I'm so glad I've seen that. That is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Makes me want to play Warzone 2 now, I guess. I think that's lucky I spotted that in the gaming segment as well. That is, I think, yeah, that's it for the... Oh, they also did ASAP Rocky's custom car or whatever for Need for Speed. But from that to the final segment of the podcast, goddamn Motorsport Monday.
And the final segment of it for until February.
Oh, is
this is the last race of the season?
Oh no.
It's only because it's it's Saturday, only qualifying. And it's about as just boring as you'd expect. Verstappen, Perez, Leclerc, Sainz, Hamilton, Russell. It's just Red Bull, Ferrari, Mercedes.
Yeah.
And it will stay like that for the race.
And
that's it. Nothing special happens. Like that's
well,
just
there
it.
you go, Motorsports.
Woo, hyped.
Oh, I'm really considering doing a video on that Hummer AV. I don't know what it would be, but just like what would I can't customize it. Like what? I'm just gonna drive it around.
You could act like it's the crew or something. It could be like a trip south in a city or something.
Yeah. Because it would just be a COD video.
It would be so good.
Oh, that's amazing. That is actually brilliant. But that's everything for the podcast. Remember, leave your opinions on basically any of the topics that we talked about today.
Especially the Toyota that exists that doesn't.
Yeah, the Toyota conspiracy. And at random, someone will be picked. Obviously, check out, obviously, subscribe, leave a like, and then just comment your opinions on one, many, or all of the things we talked about this episode. Make sure you subscribe to this channel as well as you can subscribe to the videos channel where, you know, the cut segments of the podcast go up. That is also linked in the description. Other than that, I don't know, check out the podcast on Spotify, leave a review for when I finally figure out how to look at reviews. I guess we'll see you boys in next week's episode.
Yeah. 9 or 8, one of them. Yeah.
That's gonna be the 9th one, yeah, and then we're almost gonna be in the 10th episode. Whoa!
Whoa.
In a bit.